Hi guys, my name is Vlad, this is AlphaTech, and in this video we are going to start working with files in our programming language. So up to this point we know some reasons as to why we should even start considering using files. And this concept, let's say, of files can be implemented in many programming languages like C, C++, Python, and so on. But here we are at the tutorial, at the course of C programming language, and we are going to learn how to work with these files in C. So guys, get ready and let's go! And first of all, what I want us to talk about is a couple of different operations that may be done on files. So we will talk about creating new files, writing new files, overwriting existing files, reading from files, and what is this operation of closing files even means, and so much more, okay? I think there is a lot of things we will talk about. So, to do different operations, okay, let's start with talking about the actual things that interest us. So, to do different operations on files, the first thing that we need is to create, or better say, to declare a pointer of file type. That would be the first step. So similarly to the way we've created pointers of type int, for example, we used like this int star p, okay, which was like a pointer called p, which is a pointer to int, or basically like double star, I don't know, p2, and so on and so forth. In the same way, in very similar way, we are going to create a pointer of a file type. Okay, something new, but nothing too afraid of. Okay, just a different type. So just to give you some brief explanation, a file, okay, that we will create a pointer to a file type, this file is actually a struct that, let's say, was designed to be used for working with files, okay? So it's really dedicated to working with files, as you probably already guessed by now. And this type of struct and a pointer to this struct will help us to work with files, read from them, write to them, and so on and so forth, okay? You can see that the file struct is actually being defined in this stdio.h. And it is very similar to how you've defined and worked with different structs, but basically it has been already created in some other library, and now it is just being used in our program. So struct, file struct, you've got the point. And now let us start talking about the basic syntax for working with files. So first of all, we said that we want to create a pointer to a file. So how it will look like? So file, specify file, start, and let's go fp, file pointer. So this step involves creating a pointer that its name is fp, right? An abbreviation for file pointer that points to a file type. All right? And if we would like to take maybe a closer look at file, here is some struct, okay? I will not go into all the details here, okay? But there is much more thing we can talk about an hour or two just about this file struct and what it contains, what information it has, and so on and so forth. So this will be like step number one, okay? So let's classify it as step number one, creating a pointer that holds, that points to a file type. All right, it will look like this. Okay, let me get it like, opa, come here, awesome. So now let's fix this also. Yeah, okay, so we've created this file. And now we are going to see how we can open a file. So basically just having a pointer is not enough. Okay, we need somehow to make this pointer to be associated with some file, whether it's going to read from this file or we are going to write to this file. but we need to specify that this pointer will be associated with it. So step number 2 usually is going to be opening, giving access to a file. And how it's going to be done? Okay, so we will specify that we will work with fp, will hold the address that will be returned by this function, fopen, file open. And here we will specify 2 things. The first thing that we are going to specify, the first argument, is going to be the file name. Okay? It's just going to be some string specifying the actual name of the file. So if we want to read some file, we have to provide its exact name. So that's about reading from a file, from let's say some existing file. We will need to provide its exact name. And if we would like to write to some file, then the string that we will use here will provide the name of the file to be created. Okay, so if there is no file, we will need to specify the file name that we want to create. So this will be the first argument that we will use here, and we can classify it like this. Okay, let me just write the structure itself. So it will be like fp, fopen, and there will go like the file name. And afterwards, we are going to specify as the second argument the type of the operation, All right, so that's basically the signature. And this type of operation is basically also a string that specifies what type of operation we want to make with this file. Okay, so we said there will be like the file name and there will be the type of the operation. And what is this even type of operation even means? Basically, it's used to specify in what way are you expecting your program to interact with a given file. Whether it's going to be used for writing, reading, or basically even for appending modes. Okay, so if you want to read from a file, specify the mode for reading. If you want to write to a file, specify a mode for writing. If you want to append something to an existing file, okay, to the end of the file, let's say, then use the append mode. Of course, there are also additional modes, but I'm not going to discuss each and every one of them. I'm just going to give you, let's say, just the 3 most basic that will make you ready to use files. And the first one, let's say here, types of operation. Okay, so the first one is called W. Okay, and this is an abbreviation for writing mode. Okay, that's a string, right? We do recall what is the difference between strings and chars, right? So by using this way as the second argument, we are using a string in these double quotation marks, and W is specified for writing. Okay, this string is used to indicate that the type of the operation for the file we will be working with is going to be writing. So we will open a file for writing. Okay? The second type of operation is, as you've probably guessed by now, R for reading. Okay? So this string indicates that the type of the operation for the file will be reading. We will be able to read the contents of the provided file. Okay? If we use this type of operation. And the last one, last but not least, okay, there are also additional ones that you can explore on your own, okay, or basically I will cover up some of them in the future, but basically for now it's pretty much enough to understand writing, reading, and appending. Okay, so A will go for appending mode. And this string tells us that we can append information to the end of the file. Okay, so if the file exists, we will append to the end. If it does not exist, then probably a new file will be created. Okay, and then we will be able to use it. So let's use some I don't know, some example in this video, or let's give it in the next one, just explain all the steps right here, and afterwards I will show you some example of real string for a file name and usage of some type operation with some nice examples. So let's make it like to do complete. And what also I want to tell you is that this fopen function that is being used is included in our standard input output.header file. Okay, so this is a function somebody has written. Okay, you can see its type and what it does. It returns a pointer to file. That's why we can assign it to fp. And also come here. And also you see what it expects to receive. It expects to receive a file name, and it expects to receive a mode, which is exactly just as I've shown you right now. So fopen returns a pointer to a type file if the operation of opening the file has been completed successfully. Also, something that you need to understand is that not every time that you will try to open up a file, this will be done successfully. So if the operation of opening a file, whether it's for writing, reading, or appending, is going to fail, then this function fopen is going to return null. Okay, if something went wrong and the operation of opening could not be accomplished successfully, then fopen is going to return null, and then you will have to check and to make sure if, let's say, fp does not equal to null, okay, then it means that the operation of opening a file was successful, and you can start working with the file, whether it's to write into the file, read from the file, or append, and so on. All right, so so this is used to make sure that the open operation was successful. And finally, once we are done working with our file, either it was for reading, writing, and so on, we want to specify that we are done working with this file. And as we've said, there are plenty of reasons to specify that. We didn't say it, yeah. But for example, if you're working with a file, you're writing to it, and you would like to basically to start reading from it from another process or another function or another, I don't know, some program. So it may be kind of hard when, and it's a place for bugs, when there is a stream of input writing to the file and there is a stream from another process reading from the file, and basically what happens first, or basically if someone else is writing to this file. So this may be kind of problematic. So for this, you would like to specify that whenever you are done working with a single file, just close it. Close this stream, this direction of working with the file. Specify that you want to stop working with the file from this program. Okay, so fclose, file close, fp, file pointer. Specify that for this program, okay, you've written all the code relevant to working with the file. So some code for working with the file, and once you are done working with the file, simply specify fclose, fp. All right, awesome. So just to go over the main steps required. First step, creating a pointer of type of pointer to file, then opening a file based on the file name and the type of operation that you want to use. Step 3, let's classify it like as step 3. Step 3, make sure the opening was successful. Make sure treat this situation successful. Yeah, if I'm not wrong. Step 4, work with the file. Work with the file, reading, writing, and so on. And final step, don't forget this one. Step number 5, Step number 5, close the file. Okay, it doesn't mean like to close or delete the file. It just means that stop this connection, and maybe we will see also where it's actual problems, okay, like real problems may occur if you do not do so. So yeah, I think there will be examples that I'm planning to show you this problem, but for now, you stopped working with the file. For example, you created a file, you wrote all the information to there, so stop it by using the fclose. So just cut the link between your program and the file, so this file will be accessible and will allow working from different places. Okay. Whew. So basically nothing complicated, guys. Follow these steps, and in the next videos we are going to see some practical examples that will show you that files are actually kind of easy, fun, and very useful. So my name is Vlad, this is AlphaTech. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see each other in the next videos. Bye.